around 2010. Uh, that's where he had this one strong wish that we have to do something when it comes to connecting this offering that we have in the form of yoga teaching, because yoga teaching is a very inclusive way of learning. Yoga teaching is a very inclusive way of understanding the concepts of spirituality, the concepts of philosophy, the concepts of religion, the concepts of these ancient texts that are evergreen in a way. So this was his vision, and in 2015, finally, uh, it just happened, and the school began, and that's where it all started from. So whatever plans that all of us as a team, all our seniors, everyone had in their mind, we were so happy and we were so pleasantly surprised, because see, when something is a startup, there is no guarantee that it's going to work. It may just the bubble may just burst. But when we saw the impact that this school is having on people's lives, which life? All life. There is body life, there is mind life, and there is soul life. So the impact that the people who make the most out of this course have on their life is absolutely amazing. I can see some of the names here, so I will suddenly spotlight them to share and then ask them to share their experience, because you may say, okay, you are running this school, so you may have bias to this, but yeah, there are few people here who have gone through what we offer, and I'm sure that they'll be very happy to share their journey as well. So we were extremely surprised and happy that yes, it is working, and the motive, the vision that we had, the expectations that we had, they completely came true. And that's why we are still running the school, obviously. And in spite of the COVIDs and this and that, uh, we are only getting better and better. Every year, every month, every course, things are getting better and better. And that's what we always teach. That's what our learning is, to keep on evolving and keep on growing. So this was our this is what encourages us. If there is no growth, if we don't see transformation in people, if we don't see transformation in ourselves, then it just becomes a mundane activity where we are just, it's like it's like a job. It's just like any other random job. But then this is much much more than that, and that's why we are hanging around. As simple as that. Coming to the course, uh, I mean, yeah, if you have any questions on anything, you can just raise your hands and you can ask. If you don't ask, that means you are happy with whatever I'm saying. So coming to the course, this is now I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna throw a nice curveball on you. The 200 hours teachers training course is a sham, is a lie. Okay, no institute can claim to make a yoga teacher in 200 hours or in 21 days or 28 days or whatever days. Even the 500 thing, which is considered as advanced teacher training course, it is a sham. It is a scam. It is an absolutely amazing marketing strategy to rope in people. Yes, it has worked for a lot in different terms, but the name of this course is a teacher training course. So it's very important to understand that these 200 hours or this level 1, level 2 is not enough, is not even near enough to qualify someone to be called as a yoga teacher. Okay, number 1. Why am I saying this? One of my teachers teaching yoga since 38, 9 or whatever, 40 years. Once he told me, yeah, I think I should spend more time in reading. I still don't feel that I've become a good teacher. and he has an experience of 39 years, and he is almost 60-year-old or something like that. So the point here is, yoga teaching is like a journey which has no end to it. Just like medical doctors, if they stop reading, they will not be successful doctors. So this 24 days, 28 days, 200-hour, 500-hour course is a beginning of your journey, and it's an absolutely amazing beginning. Just like for a plane to take off, you need a nice runway with no potholes or whatever, rocks on it. So this is that runway where you come into an ashram, you stay in the ashram. It's not a great experience, trust me. You can ask the people who have done this course. Absolutely, disciplined life, waking up on time, eating on time, not eating unrecommended foods, eating in limit, uh, being really, really active throughout the day, sleeping on time. So a lot of things are very tough in this course. But what this course does is just gives you a very strong head start. And this head start is what is required sometimes to take off. And once we have taken off, obviously we still require engine, we still require a lot of things. Yeah, there's a comment that why not 6 months course? 6 months is also not enough. But yeah, it is much better than the 1 month for sure, or 2 months. But the question is, how many of you can take out that much time? So coming back to the point, that once you complete this course, it doesn't mean that you become a teacher, but you get a really, really in-depth idea of what yoga is really all about. Right from the word, the meaning of the word yoga, to some of its scriptures, to the way it is practiced on the mat, off the mat. So little fundamentals, little concept, it gets cleared. And once that fundamentals are clear, then we can proceed, then we can progress, and it's an unending progress. If we have to put a cap of how much time it takes to become a yoga teacher, it all depends on how much practice you do. I personally know few people, just after doing this 1 month course, they started taking classes and they were not flourishing. They were struggling. Now I talk to them and they are like, there are too many classes. Now what to do? I don't want to take, but how can I say no? And I'm getting burnt out and all that. That's a different thing. So what made them a good yoga teacher is consistency. Consistency in their own self-study, on mat, off mat, and consistency in taking these practice classes. And it can be from anyone. You can teach your parents, your watchmen, cousins, whoever, friends, whatever. All are invited for this. You can go to a park and start teaching. So that is something that has worked really, really well for a lot of people. And again, as I said, if I want to put it in years, just see any other occupation, engineers, doctors, graduates, they all take minimum 3 to 5 years. So, it's pretty much the same here. Even the fundamentals are there. Even if you have understood everything, you have to keep on reading. You have to keep on learning. You have to keep on, working hard, and then this thing, you will be able to do justice to your course. Again, the same comment of 6 months. Yes, we are working on starting the 6 month course, but we will go step by step, because we just don't want to jump there. There are schools like Bihar School of Yoga, which has a multiple month course, and there is Kaivalya Dham, and there are few other such in-house ashrams where there are such courses, but they are there since more than 50 years, 100 years now. So we will also take our time. But as I said, 1 month, 2 month, even 2 days sometimes is enough to start that journey. And that is what we focus on this course. It's not a retreat, even though people do have fun sometimes. It's not a holiday. You may end up needing a holiday after this course. I'm sure the people who have done this course are nodding their head right now. But it is totally worth it. And the only reason I'm saying it is because of the experience, after hearing the experience of the people who have shared their post course, what do you call it, feedback. that what happened to them and how they are progressing. Or yes, Divya ji, you have a question. Please, you can unmute yourself, or I'll just unmute you, and you can ask the question. Or you want to type it, you can type it, no problem. You can't unmute.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I just unmuted you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. So my question is, could you please explain? I do intend to come and do this course, the 200 hours one. Is it possible for you to explain what is the schedule in the day, and if you can explain more practically, like what we should expect, and if one is not very flexible, then should they be coming to this, or should they be practicing before and then coming? So things like that, and probably this time this year I might not be able to come due to other commitments. Then next year, do you have the next one in February, March? That's my question.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'll try to remember all of your questions. Uh, so yeah,
Sorry.
I'll start from the last one. Yes, it is there in February next year, and many other months also. We'll put up the schedule soon. And then comes to the flexibility. So yeah, flexibility is not an issue at all. I have a big class on this when it comes to understanding the term flexibility, but there are no such prerequisites that one should practice yoga or one should be knowing yoga. One can be like pure beginner and come to this course and grow. One can be a pure pro and come to this course and grow. So that is what this course is all about. It is meant for it's like water, mix whatever in it and you get the desired results. So there is no such strong prerequisites. It's always good to be physically active, so that then your next question was the schedule. So the schedule is pretty intense. It starts early morning, let's say 7:30, first asana class, then followed by 1.5 hours theory class, then a short break, and then the evening asana class again 4 to 5:30, then the little small teaching class of half an hour. It starts on the second week, and then alternate days there are evening satsang. So it's a pretty much full day thing, which with the little gaps in it. So if your body is a little active and you're not, completely sedentary, it will make it a little bit easier for you to gel in nicely. It will just make it a little less intense for you to, cope up, and it will become easy for you to cope up with this schedule. So as the word says, ashram, there is no ashram without shram in it. So there is a lot of hard work, but it pays off really well in the end. Absolutely amazingly, it pays off. And what was your first question? I just went back to front. What was the first question?
I think you covered everything. It was
What
like,
to expect? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
what to expect? Don't expect anything. Just come and accept. That's the answer. Because many times we have some expectations. They will definitely get catered to. But whenever we are entering a place which is called as an ashram, where there are a lot of scriptures being discussed and all that, then we have to just come there to observe and absorb. That's it. If in this setting your expectations are getting fulfilled, fine. If they are not, don't worry. You will get so much empowered after this course. See, I'm marketing this course over. You will get so much empowered in just 200 hours that all your expectations will, uh, I don't know whether they'll come true or not, but you will be much more capable of reaching those expectations in a really, really good way. So,
Thank
yeah,
you so much. I can
thank you
already
for your very
sitting here.
to the point
Yeah,
questions.
no problem. Actually, sitting here
All
so
right.
far away.
There is one more question. If someone is a 750 plus hour certified teacher, can they sign up for a level 2? Okay. So again, as I said in the beginning, I don't know whether you were there or not. These hour system 200-hour course, 500-hour course, 900-hour course. I'm repeating it again. They are a very nice marketing gimmick. When they put these hour marks, and then we have to, mm, you say, okay, 200-hour complete, 500-hour complete, 900-hour complete. These hours, they don't mean anything. Even if it is a 100-hour course or a 50-hour course, it still has something very amazing to offer. And these small offerings can be, taken together and made it into an infinite hour course. But having said that, technically answering your question, uh, it is always recommended to do the 200-hour first, and then so to do the level 1 first and then the level 2. Why? Because level 2 is nothing but the one half, the second half of one course. So when we designed this course, it was not designed as two separate courses. It was one full course cut into two parts. I'm just trying to do justice to a little bit of what we are trying to do here, because these two parts and three parts, it's nothing. There are 1,000 parts. There are maybe 1,000,000 parts. So yeah, we can talk on personal basis later regarding this coming directly for level 2. But my strong recommendation will be, if you can manage the time, you please start from the level 1, because we cover a lot of details, and then we can uh, take it ahead and then connect it to the level 2. I hope that I have answered your question without offending you. It's amazing that you have already did a 750-hour course, and as I said, even 50 hours makes a difference. So what to speak of 750 hours? You have already started your amazing journey, and I'm sure that whatever course that you will attend, uh, because of those 750 hours of your training, you will be able to relish even a single minute of yoga knowledge. So yeah, thank you for that question. Can we get your email address? Yes, we will share our email address. Maybe Priyachan Bro, you can type it in the comment section, and we'll also share it in the on the WhatsApp group. All right. So I will. You can also think of more questions. Till that time, I will just ask our head philosophy teacher to join in. And yeah, there he is, Himalayla Prabhu.
Hari
I'll
Bol.
just spotlight you.
Yes. Hare Krishna. So what would the students like to know about?
Students would like to know, are the philosophy classes compulsory to attend or not?
Yes, they are absolutely compulsory. Yeah. So the idea when we started this teachers training course, one of the important areas that I personally wanted to focus on was on the philosophy aspect, because I saw how badly it is taken care of in many yoga schools. When I did my TTC from a totally different organization, it's a very, very reputed organization, but somehow I felt that the philosophy didn't get its due credit. First of all, to understand why understanding yoga philosophy is so critical, because typically if you look across the general pattern of the kind of students that we've had, mainly we've had two kinds of students. The first category are those who are completely new to the world of philosophy, world of spirituality, the world of yoga, right? And the other category are those who are already exploring spirituality, especially from a bhakti tradition, coming with some ISKCON connections, right? So these are mainly the two categories of audience. And even after interacting with both these categories, I realized how much there's need to properly understand the yoga philosophy. For the first category, many times we do not see the connection between the practices of of Ashtanga yoga, of yoga in general, the asanas, the pranayama aspects, with the philosophy, because philosophy connects us to the roots of the tradition. And once you understand that how yoga is not just somebody's mental speculation, it is not that Patanjali suddenly one morning, on a cold winter morning, he woke up and he stretched and he said, wow, this stretching feels nice, I should just write a book on it. And that was not how yoga suddenly popped up suddenly one day. But there's a whole tradition, there's a whole philosophical tradition behind it, and how this philosophy helps you to develop the right kind of a worldview and a mindset. Because yoga, our external practice of yoga will help us only when there's an internal mindset. So coupled with the right internal mindset and the external framework in terms of our body and mind and the breath, that is how we can fully capitalize on our yoga practices and create a tangible internal transformation. So if that internal mindset is not there, then many times we may only experience some superficial benefits of yoga. Definitely there will be certain level of a temporary level of relief, there'll be a certain level of flexibility, right, and so on and so forth. But if you really want to go to the deeper level of yoga practice, you need to couple it with the right philosophy. And at the end of the day, we also have to understand that we have to stretch our boundaries of yoga, right? There's so much of yoga that we do on the mat, but we fail to see how the quality of our yoga on the mat is very much dependent on the way we live our life off the mat. So that way we have to actually practice yoga 24/7. And therefore yoga is not just a process, but it's a state of consciousness, it's a state of life. And that can only be internalized and realized when we back it up with the right philosophical understanding. So when we started this teachers training course, one of our important requirements was to also support the students' practice by giving them a strong philosophical grounding. And initially we started with some topics which we thought will be useful. Then over the years, just based on the questions I used to get from the various students, we redesigned, we tweaked, we brought in a lot of changes in the syllabus. So right now we are at a particular stage when before we launched a 300 hours course, at up until the 200 hours course, we made a very, very comprehensive syllabus where practically we have premeditated practically all the questions that a seeker will have in their head, and we have designed our course that way. In fact, the entire course is very systematically organized. In the 200 hours course, the philosophy courses are spread across 3 modules. The first module is called as Introduction to Vedic Philosophy. So here we are going to create a level ground for everyone, because some people may come from like zero understanding of philosophy. They may have never even approached any book of philosophy or any kind of systematic study of philosophy. And straight away we are jumping into very deep esoteric yoga philosophy. So we thought first we'll create a bridge by introducing certain etymological aspects, certain lexicons that I use, certain terminologies which are used in the yoga/Vedic philosophy. So the foundation is laid. So by the end of first week, practically, even if you have no background in philosophy, you actually have caught up with many other people. So that's how beautifully the course has been designed, so that you will never feel like somebody else knows more terminologies than me. In fact, some of the feedback I got from other students, those who've been reading philosophy books like Gita and Bhagavatam and so on, even they actually got some of their basics retuned and internalized certain deeper concepts when they did the first week module, which is Introduction to Vedic Philosophy. Then in the second module, we switch gears, we go one step higher, which is the Introduction to Yoga Sutras, especially the yoga philosophy as given by Patanjali. And because if you understand the very systematic science that Patanjali has given, The foundation to our asanas and pranayam practice is in the yamas and niyamas. So it's a systematic sequential process: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. So we try to understand these deeper concepts of yama, niyama, not just from a theoretical places, but actually how do we imbibe them in our life? And these are all very lively discussion oriented classes. So I see some familiar names in the participants list. Some of our ex students are also here, so maybe they can also share their experiences, pleasures or traumas, whatever it may be, but of sitting through the classes, the philosophy classes, right? So that is the module that we designed, the second module, and we cover a lot of deep concepts of Yoga Sutras. Then the third module is of the introduction to Gita philosophy. So here we don't cover like a chapter by chapter overview of the Gita, but rather we cover a philosophical overview of Gita, right? Covering some key concepts. So it's not a linear study of Gita, but it's more of a lateral study. So that way, across multiple sections we'll be covering all the important key philosophical concepts. So that's a more conceptual approach, preparing one to study the Bhagavad Gita. So those are the three modules that we cover in this course, and systematically, if you see, this is quite a rich content. In fact, many people they get very much inspired. In fact, I have had students after which who ventured into very, very serious study of the yoga philosophy. Some of my students are actually teaching philosophy also, very strong philosophy. In fact, I remember Swami Vishnu Devananda, who started the Shivananda schools. He would always emphasize on the need for philosophy. He would say that how a philosophical mind, he would compare the entire yoga practice to the metaphor of a car. And he would say a car with all its good spark plug, with all the good engine and air and this and that maintenance, finally a car is only as good as the driver. And the driver, that level-headed mind, he says, comes by study of Vedanta, study of philosophy. And therefore, as you become teachers, you can add a lot of value to your students by giving them some philosophical foundation. So that way, study of philosophy is going to be very, very important. And it's not that students have to give long, 1 hour long, 35 minutes long yoga philosophy classes, but rather, if you can just add a short 5 minutes, 10 minutes wisdom doses, wisdom capsules, along with your yogasana classes, pranayama classes, that's going to add a great deal of benefit to your students, potential students in future. Like that. So that was the 200 hours module. Then over the years, we realized that, as Anmol Prabhu was very eloquently and bluntly mentioning, that you cannot become a teacher in 200 hours. So we also realized that, and then we, even from the philosophical aspect, you cannot, master philosophy in 1 month, but at least to deepen the understanding, in the 300 hours course, we take things totally to the next level. In fact, it's quite intense, but somebody who has gone through the 200 hours first have the advantage of understanding many basics, and especially understanding of the flow of thought that we present here. So that way, when they come into the 300 hours, they are quite ready and equipped. And we have sometimes 3 to 4 hour long philosophy classes every day. And in the 300 hour course, we mainly cover 3 topics. The first topic we cover is a detailed study of the Yoga Sutras. All the 4 padas, the 196 sutras, everything is covered. Then in the second module, we cover a detailed chapter by chapter, systematic detailed overview of the Bhagavad Gita. And the third module we cover is Narada Bhakti Sutras. So that is from yoga to Gita to the Bhakti Sutras. So we have a very systematic presentation there. So these are the modules that we mainly cover in the entire 200 and 300 hours course. So somebody who has gone through this course, they really are quite ready and equipped, because the presentation that we have, another very important aspect, like I said, for somebody who's absolutely new to the world of philosophy, I think this will help them to really deepen their footing in yoga practice and in philosophical aspects. and inspire them to read more books. And for somebody who has already been in the world of philosophy, especially those who are connected with Bhakti traditions, with ISKCON, different books, even with those students also in the past, I've had some very good feedback, because many times we understand things, especially the philosophical aspects of the Bhakti tradition itself, or sometimes we are very superficial or dismissive in terms of the depth of other schools of thought. So the main style, the understanding is to present facts as they are. So and we actually do like a very, very intense systematic study of the Yoga Sutras. It's not at all a superficial study. In fact, I personally have fully studied 8 different books on the Yoga Sutras, including 4 different acharyas commentaries, and and I present the Yoga Sutras with the with the condensed understanding of all those teachings. So we definitely do not leave any stone unturned in terms of our philosophical presentation, and all of that will actually help one deepen one's understanding and broaden one's respect for spirituality in general. And this has been like another consistent feedback to my students, especially those who already had some past experience. So they all also appreciated this aspect. So yeah, so this is the key, the structure of the philosophy course. And yeah, and if there any questions or comments, if anybody wants to ask specifically regarding what does it take, any concerns you have about the philosophy aspect of the course, you can please fire them away. But otherwise, as I said, this course, like I said, is designed not just to give some kind of a superficial feel good, or just focusing only on one aspect, but tries to give an all-round aspect. So there's a very, very strong emphasis on the asana practice, the anatomy aspects, I'm sure Anmol Prabhu would have mentioned it, or he was going to talk about it next, of strong pranayam practice in the very nice discipline setup of an ashram. And along with that, there's also very deep understanding of philosophy. That way you get a very nice overall package towards, a holistic package towards your own self-improvement. All right. So if anybody has any questions or comments, we can take them, or else we'll move on. Anmolji can take over the proceedings, and he can continue.
So there is one question. If someone wants to do 300 directly, if they have done 200 from some other school, which I'll obviously recommend not to, but anyway, due to time restraint or whatever, how they can prepare for the 300 philosophy? Are there some recommendations or some online courses that are there, and so that they can come prepared? So
yeah, I mean, there is at least the Yoga Philosophy Foundation course, the first week introduction to Vedic philosophy, we covered it online in our web learning online learning portal. So I will advise you to actually do that course first, because that covers a lot of basics of philosophy in general. I will encourage you to do that. Just that little familiarity with Yoga Sutras will help you. In fact, in the 200 hours course, what we create is a familiarity to the topic. So once you are familiar to a certain extent of the topic, it becomes very easy for you to dive deep. So the only difference I will say, Adriel, would be that there will be a small but very steep learning curve that you'll have to go through in the initial period, just to catch up, because some of them would understand certain terms that I'm using. Because you see, it's like it's all a system. It's a grade wise course where there's level 1, level 2, level 3. So the first week module is built to help them in the second week module in 200 hour course, and the second week is going to help them the third week module, and all three together are going to help them. Certain terminologies that we use, certain lingos that we use, these terms, they have a philosophical connotation which needs to be understood. In fact, that's the only challenge in study of philosophy, knowing the connotations, knowing the terminologies. So that could be the only challenge, but like I said, it will be only for the short duration in the beginning. So if you may want to work a little harder during the first few days of the course to kind of catch up with that part. And definitely this philosophy foundation course is something that you can do online from our learning portal, and that should also help you.
All right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If there are any other questions regarding the same, you can please type it. And if there are not, I will just ask Aarti to join and speak a little bit more about our 200 and 300 hour courses.
In the 200 hours, we have assignments, but in the, I was saying that there was a question here about exams. So yes, for the the 200-hour course, you will have assignments, but the 300 hours course, you do have exams, which are usually open book exams, but still they're quite interesting, as I would like to say. Okay. And for the practicals part also, maybe Aarti is going to cover that now about their exams. This is the question that all students have, what worries them. So please take over, Aarti.
Thank you, Nimalila Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Namaste. Welcome to this session. I will quickly run through the mood of this training once again, and then we will see the structure of our 200-hour course, how the daily schedule looks like, and what are the detailed curriculum that we have regarding the teaching methodology and Hatha Yoga and other classes. So some of you are hearing me for the first time. My name is Aarti, and I take care of your asana classes, teaching methodology in the course, and some of the yoga philosophy classes like Hatha Yoga, etc. So what is the mood of this program? I see so many people come to this program who have yoga studio or yoga classes in their neighborhood, but they still come to GEV. And this is very surprising element. And I end up asking them that you spend so much of money, energy, and time to come here. What's so special? So we are also trying to identify when we stay at some place, we forget the uniqueness of it. So they only end up telling us that this is such a beautiful place that adds value to the entire program. And what they learn from this course is a holistic understanding of yoga. They learn yoga in its big picture. Most of the times when we ask anyone generally, do you practice yoga? What we mean is, are you practicing some asanas? But here you get the holistic understanding, and that's what we want our aspiring teachers to be. We want them to be a holistic yoga teachers and not just asana teachers. So this is what the mood of this program is. Our main focus and goal is to make you a very holistic teachers, and not where you just want to teach someone to lift their legs up and down. You can easily do that looking at some YouTube videos. There is no need to even come here. But I think the added USP and value is this beautiful place which sets you in a right mood to understand yoga in its very big picture. So that is number one, I wanted to start with this beautiful mood that when you come, you're not just getting trained as yoga teachers, but you are absorbing the essence of this wonderful place, which is with you for your whole life. And now I'll quickly go through the daily schedule, how it looks. Many of you were curious. So Anmol did share that. I will just put it into a little more structure as to how many classes you have per day and what is the assignment, etc. So this is for 200 hours. Typically, your day would have 2 practice classes. Morning and evening, you'll have asana, pranayam, and meditation practice classes. And gradually, we'll be adding in one more class to your practice, which is teaching. Because obviously, although teacher training, we can't train you in 1 month, but definitely we give you all the skills and technical knowledge that you can start your journey of teaching. And for that, gradually, your practice classes will also turn into you teaching each other. So this is a wonderful aspect of this program where we want to make you a confident teachers too in terms of public speaking, sharing the yogic knowledge. So typically your day will have 2 asana classes and teaching class. You will have 2 theory classes. This can be either yoga philosophy or Bhagavad Gita philosophy, or it can be anatomy classes. You have a big chunk of anatomy covered for the technicalities of asanas and pranayam. So anatomy will be part in your theory. You will learn some beautiful relaxation techniques on experiencing it yourself and also teaching others of yoga nidras. That will be typically there. And of course, good food or healthy diet or sattvic food is also very much important for your own transformation when you are here for your yoga trainings and understanding of the right food. So you will be also eating sattvic food, non-spicy food, simple to digest food throughout the month. So why am I sharing this aspect is there are many people who are not interested to teach as such. They want to do this program, but they are not interested. I am saying this like in this way because I know our teaching methodology is so wonderful that whoever did not even plan to become teachers, they end up becoming wonderful teachers eventually. However, if that is your thing in your mind that you don't want to become teacher, but you just want to experience for yourself, and for that, this food aspect is very important, that when you are eating sattvic food, you are doing asana practice. This will bring wonderful discipline and some health benefits to your own self. So we have healthy food for you for throughout the month. So this will be your typical day, and of course some alternate evenings or every day depending on how the course is progressing. We will have different satsangs also in the evening, which are very reflective. We all come together, we share, we do some kirtan, we do some reflection activities. So that will be in the evening. And you will also have little free time. I'm not making you very ambitious about free time. You might not have much of the free time. But whatever free time you have, you will be very happy to explore the place around for evening darshan or morning aartis. So only if you have little energy and time after the whole program. So this is your typical day. 2 asana classes, 2 theory classes, coupled with some relaxation techniques and teaching classes and satsangs in the evening. This is your daily schedule. Now, what we are learning in the entire course, of course, Anmol takes care of asana classes and anatomy and the technicalities behind every asana and breathing practice. And then we also cover some theory classes on teaching. Like, since many of you are coming with an ambition to start your journey as yoga teacher, so we want to give you the wonderful idea of what it means to be a teacher, how you can actually start your journey. Because I have, just like Nimalila Prabhu said, even I have been to different schools for gaining experience and learning myself. I realized that even after finishing my teacher training program, I really don't know that if a student comes to me now, how do I structure my class? Or how do I really start actually? What do I do? How do I start teaching? Because I am overloaded with information, but I don't know how to put it into a nice curriculum to teach to someone. This is what we're going to give you here, like art of sequencing, teaching methodology, like how you can come together in a group and you can actually start your journey as a teacher, how you prepare the class, what is lesson planning, what asanas you should put in a class, what pranayam, what is a sequence of pranayam. So all this detailed understanding of asanas and pranayam. Of course, you're going to practice it too. And along with that, you're going to also learn the sequencing part, which is very important, where most of us get confused that how do I teach to someone? How do I share this? Whatever chunk that I have gathered in 1 month, how do I practically put into a classroom of 1 hour? So this is what we are going to teach you in our teaching classes. Plus, you will have some theory classes on Hatha Yoga. This is where we share with you the foundation, that whatever you're practicing on the mat, from where it is coming, like what is mentioned in the scriptures, and what should be the yogi's lifestyle. So all this, some of the aspects we are going to share with you. And along with that, those scriptures mention some particular pranayam and cleansing techniques. So we are going to also practice it and learn how to share with others. So you're going to practice some of the cleansing techniques mentioned in the ancient scriptures, which are very much relevant today for your good health. So we will be practicing it as well. So that is one more benefit for self, which will be doing it. And apart from Hatha Yoga classes, you'll be having some classes on practical application of yoga to different groups. For example, you are doing asana every day, you start to also learn how to teach others, but now you'll have some different crowd coming to you. For example, somebody who is into golden age, like 60 plus. Now, what do I teach that person? So you will have some theory and practice classes on how to teach senior citizens, then children, pregnant women. So whatever different categories you might have apart from a healthy individual, so we'll focus on that. Of course, True 100 Hours does not focus a lot on therapy, but trust me, your manuals, your self-study is going to take you to that level too with your experience. But we cover that aspect more in our 300 hours. So sometimes there's a missing link between, I know some asanas, but if this person has a problem, how do I bridge that? So your self-study and our courses are going to help you bridge that gap. So you can also teach somebody who has some health issues and what asanas can help. So what I want to share personally is, even if someone does not want to become a teacher, who had come here, I have seen that how confidently they are sharing this knowledge with everyone now and are so happy to find this new purpose in life. So even if you're thinking what I'm going to do, am I really going to be a teacher? How can I become teacher in 200 hours program? I am so stiff, I am so flexible. But trust me, there are so many people looking out there for some relaxation techniques, for some kind of meditation or some breath work that you can share. So please do not bring any kind of, barrier here that if you are not fit or if you're not flexible, how can I myself become a teacher? It's not just about being flexible. Otherwise, all people who are in circus would have become yoga teachers, right? But they are not. So it's not just about, having some flexibility and keeping that fear in mind, but more than teachers, there are more students out waiting for all of us. So this is what I wanted to share about the program, like as in the classes. Next is about assignments. So obviously it's a professional certified course where we have affiliation with, as Anmol said, Yog Vidya Gurukul, and also some international bodies. So for that, obviously assignments are there. These are some of the assignments based on the theory classes that you will have. So it is a written assignment, plus you will have some essay presentation on the subject of your choice. And at the end of 1 month, this is for 200 hours. At the end of 1 month, you all have to deliver a 1 hour teaching class. And that will be kind of your final evaluation for teaching. And on a weekly basis, every day you will be going through some of the teaching classes called as micro lessons, where you teach a small aspect of the class and get trained for the entire class for 1 hour. So this is how the structure is. And I personally feel that the structure is so wonderful. It prepares everyone, even if you have fear of public speaking, or if you think I was never into yoga, but how am I going to make it to a final exam teaching someone for 1 hour? But that's surely possible. We have seen thousands of students now evolving, through this process and teaching confidently. So these evaluations are very important, not just for you to become teachers, even if that is not your goal, but overall your personality development. So everybody takes in a very positive spirit. So this is how overall the structure of the course is. And I will be very eager to see each one of you at some of the other different timings coming to, for this program at GEV. I will be very happy if you have any questions to address it. Yes, so there are some questions here. How many days? So it's almost around 25 days course, 200 hours. And some of the questions that are here, like what is the fees of the course, days, or details of daily schedule. So I'm sure many of you have joined one WhatsApp group that we have created to give you information exclusively about this YTTC or Yoga Teacher Training Program. So we will put all the details like dates, prices, and more details of daily schedule, which link you can click for more details. Whatever we have been sharing, precisely, it is also mentioned on the website, so you can also check that. But if you have more questions, obviously after this program, immediately our education manager, Priya Chaitanya Prabhu, is going to post all of those details on the group. Parul Ji has a question. I'm going to just unmute and...
Hi. Hare Krishna. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I have a very similar question like everyone else had asked. Like per se, we have done yoga teachers training before, and a lot of aspects that you're talking about, I'm already acquainted with. But yet again, I want to, one of your colleagues just said that, it's never enough. Ever since I have known about Govardhan School, I know Govardhan School since it was in making, because I followed some of the ISKCON teacher. I studied Bhagavad Gita from him. So, I was eager to know because he was explaining how beautiful eco village and this and that. And now when I look at your halls and pictures, I really want to like come and indulge in this environment. I just love coming to ashrams and living. So, I mean, my concern is like, can there not be like a revision course which is more intense for people who have already done a lot of study? I've done yoga for 4 years. I've been teaching for free. I've done basic. I've been abroad teaching, came back, did my advanced. I know the hours don't count because I totally believe in that. And I've done a lot of studies as much as possible. I'm like consistently on it, but yet I want to come to Govardhan School. But then, the things that you're talking about is very basic for me. It's too basic for me. So, I mean, why not design a course for somebody who has few hours of learning and do an intense, like what you're saying, maybe I can do in 10 days, a nice revision, but if it's possible, that was my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Parul, for your concern. And what I would like to say is, Parul, on this, that we've had few teachers coming in every batch. We have some teachers already coming in. Our entire batches never were, nobody. There are some batches, of course, where we have the combination of beginners and little bit of exposure. But it was to my surprise that sometimes many teachers also came to us, and they were happy that they could learn few different and new aspects too in the course, especially I would say philosophy and some of the details of teaching methodology, which were never taught at different places. And this is the uniqueness that we hold. And I would say, Parul, that one of my teachers would always tell us, he would always make us do warm-ups, and we got very bored with those warm-ups sometimes. Of course, human mind, we need more variety in the asana class. And we would ask that why you're giving us warm-ups again and again. You're like, no, you have to brush on your basics frequently, and then your advanced practice will be really good. So what I can say is, you taste this 200 hours and 300 hours too, and maybe then coming back as a volunteer is a next journey. And definitely, if you see, we have some evolving courses too, where on Yoga Nidra, which is more detailed. It's not just a basic class. And on Yoga Sutras are in depth, and some of the practices that we take here. So I think even if we have few teachers who have done their 300, 200 at several places, but I've found some uniqueness in the program here and practical takeaways too. So I would say that you can try it out definitely. But as a suggestion, we will definitely take this, that for somebody who has been doing a lot of practice, we can work on having more evolved programs too soon. Yes, definitely. That consideration we can definitely have.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I remember when I did my beginners, I didn't know anything about Gita. It was so tough on me. I mean, the teacher was teaching me 5 brothers, and there was the devil, and, it was so complicated. And today I know everything. I mean, obviously not everything, but I know a lot of it.
Wow.
So I don't.
Then why don't you? I think we need more. You as a teacher then.
No,
I still
but
don't know Gita. I'm still trying to learn it from Nimai Lila Prabhu and others.
I'll suggest you a very nice ISKCON teacher if he is ready. He taught me 18 chapters in 18 days along with Mahabharata. So we did like
Very
the
nice.
entire Mahabharata and Gita together. And I'm still so grateful to him. And
Very
but
nice.
yeah, the thing is, like, I don't want to be sitting next to somebody who doesn't know who Bhishma Pitama is. Like, just imagine, and who doesn't know anything about Mahabharata and Gita. I don't want to start from the scratch. I want to be there with people who talks about,
I think, sorry to, I don't know if you'll be upset with me today evening, Parul, but I really feel that my teacher whacked me for good once, that we need to keep brushing our basics.
No,
I
I
would also
understand.
suggest that it's a beautiful thing, you know. Sometimes we know that we know, but only when we know more, we know that we don't know much, is what my realization has been through the journey of teaching. The more I teach, I realize, my God, my students are asking questions, and I to myself go and brush my basics again to, you know, help them better. So I think just
Yeah,
doing some basic classes are also really helpful. But anyways, I am taking your suggestions.
yeah. I mean, I will
And
let
but
others
we
speak.
do have, you keep following our page. We do have some courses where, uh, you know, they are really on the next level and taking you into the deeper. 18 days Gita, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is not enough. Even Nimai would totally agree to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure even 18 years is also not enough. But anyways, that's a different topic. Um, but we do check our page also, our website.
Yep.
You
I will.
might
You can just connect with me after class. Then I will share the upcoming
some
advanced
advanced programs.
philosophy
Yeah,
programs. I will share that.
great. Thank
But
you, Priya.
who is speaking? I just hear a voice. I don't see your name.
So I will. I will share. I have noted your name, and I will
Thank
connect
you.
with you personally.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to quickly go through a chat box if there is. I have a 8-year-old. Are there any facilities available to bring and engage them? Is it, Madhuriji, if it's for 1 month, it will be little challenging with the course to engage them for 1 month. Because we do have exclusively kids yoga teacher training courses that we do sometimes where it's more doable to engage them. Maybe Priya Chaitanya Prabhu can also address this more, but I personally feel 1 month for 8-year-old will be a little overwhelming along with you. Because our schedule is really different. If they have somebody with them as a caretaker and taking them around, then I think that will be more a good idea rather than having them alone with you and you putting your energy in the course would not be a great justice actually. Okay, so there's one nice question that you have asked is white. We see all students in white all the time. So yes, actually we have a proper, information letter that we send out for those who confirm their kind of participation in the program. So that's the next step that we do, of course, because those are more details. We give you the list of things. So of course, we want to guide you till you step here, and of course, personal guidance once you come. So we send a list of things that you need to bring here. Since it's an ashram, it's in the interior village. So what are the things you might need? You want to pack it, a list of things you might want to consider packing with you, and what you need to bring along with you for the for your course, any requirements. So we post all of that well in advance before once you confirm your participation. So that will be given later. Yes, Adriel. For someone who has physical impediments, is this course recommended? Can asana classes be skipped from doing, but attending to observe and learn? Yes, no problem at all. We've had some nice, I still remember his age was 72. So obviously it's not that he was not fit or fine. He had some health issues and some physical pain and aches and some back problem. But he participated fantastically in all the programs, and we start with basics. So good. You got me to one more point that I want to share with everyone. In fact, in asana class 2, we start with basics. Do you know why? Even if you are already mastered your headstand, because you want to become teachers, right? You will not have everyone coming to you for learning headstand. You might have somebody who have never done yoga before. Then you are not a great teacher because you don't know the basic practices well, or you don't like brushing them on. So it is very, very important that that's what we do. So for those who have some physical pain, aches, or some problems, they already have learned a lot of basic in first week, which they can continue over the period of time as we advanced in our asana practice too. And the more you will spend time with in our school, you will realize that advancing in some asanas is not about just perfecting that asana. the scriptures talk completely different about what it means to advance in asana. Yoga Sutras have completely different and holistic understanding of it. So that's what we take you through. So obviously we welcome people with any health issues too, but just on a safer side, anybody who has any active heart issues or anything which is very severe, they need to bring doctor's certificate once so that we can also understand what is the problem. But otherwise, everybody from any background, they are most welcome to this experience. Because for us, yoga is not about just asana practice, but it's about understanding life with a new perspective in a holistic way. So most welcome, anyone. So all the dates related question, fees related question, we are going to put on the group. So Priya Chaitanya Prabhu, even Valerie is asking about the dates of 300 hours. I'm not sure about the calendar yet, Prabhuji. So maybe you can either comment on this, how you're going to.
I have already started sharing all these details.
Yes.
So you can continue with the questions. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes, Divyaji, definitely on first day itself, you can let us know about the concerns and that will be taken care about the policies or photos. And usually we have a special photo session where only students who are interested, they come. So, yeah. I'm just to quickly scroll to the chat if there are more questions that I have not read. Okay, I think, yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for your enthusiastic participation. And I'm hoping to see all of you soon at Govardhan Eco Village for this wonderful programs. Okay. So, Priya Chaitanya Prabhu, can we end here or we should? Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, so I'm just sharing my WhatsApp number for all date related and other queries regarding prices, accommodation options. And
Yes.
I'm sharing all the details first, then on a personal basis, as per your choice, we can connect. And
Yes,
also
I can-
we'll open up the group for some time. And then you can also, if you have more questions, we can post in the group.
Yes, that's a good idea. Fine. Yes. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Namaste.